1 of the NFL season is in the books, so today in Madden 23, we are going to be scoring 1 touchdown with every single team that won a game in week 1. We are starting with the team that picked up the first win of the entire season on Thursday Night Football, and probably the team to beat in the NFL, and that is the Buffalo Bills, who absolutely destroyed the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles. I cannot believe how much that was in the game. Stafford didn't look great. KUPP looked really good. Aaron Donald wasn't too much of a factor. They handled him really well. That Buffalo Bills offensive line played great. Diggs played great. Gabriel Davis was good. The running game for the Bills was really good, and obviously Josh Allen was just an absolute monster for this team. They are the team to beat, in my opinion, in the AFC. I really like the Chargers this year, and I really like the Chiefs. Both of those teams look really good at the start of week 1, but we'll have to see what happens. Can we get into the end zone with Gabriel Davis, who could be poised for a breakout season this year? We do. Next up is the Philadelphia Eagles, who are by far the favorite in the NFC East now, with Dak Prescott going down on Sunday Night Football. The Eagles look great in their game against these Detroit Lions. Jalen Hurts looked amazing. The run game looked great. A.J. Brown was sick. Really doesn't make any sense to me why the Titans went ahead and moved on from A.J. Brown. The guy is the #1 receiver in this league, and they could have used a #1 receiver last night against the New York Giants when they choked the game, couldn't get the game-winning field goal, but the Eagles back with them. A.J. Brown looks good. The NFC East is wide open for the Eagles to win. Run game looked good. Now we have the Soldier Field for the 49ers and the Bears. I did not see the Bears winning this game. I thought they'd be one of the worst teams in the league, but they go out there and get a great win in week 1, and the Madden weather doesn't do this justice of how bad the weather was at Soldier Field for this game. They were playing in a literal swamp, so I don't really know if the Bears are the better team than the 49ers. I would probably say no. It's one of Trey Lance's first starts in the league. He's still going to have to get adjusted to being a starter in this league. It's going to take him a while, and you can't really judge him, as Cole Kmet does not want to go down. We are playing on arcade mode, but he does not want to go down, but they play in a swamp, so you really can't judge Trey Lance or Justin Fields really great for that game. Justin Fields will let it come back, so that's really cool for him, but you really can't take away too much from this game besides the fact that the Bears going to win. There were a lot of upsets in week 1 of the NFL season, and this game is another one of those upsets. This is one of the most sloppy games of week 1, but the Steelers got the job done. They beat the AFC North defending champion Cincinnati Bengals that made it to the Super Bowl last year. They had a couple chances to win it. The Bengals did. So did the Steelers. Nobody wanted to make a game-winning kick. Jamar Chase was what we thought was the game-winning touchdown at the end of regulation. Then they missed the extra point. Evan McPherson never misses extra points, but I believe they had a different long snapper for that field goal at the end. That might have been the reason he missed it, but then they wind up losing it in overtime. Boswell puts it through. The Steelers win, but the Steelers do lose Najee Harris for a couple weeks, so that's not great, and TJ Watt could be out. We're waiting on news right now to see if he did actually tear his pectoral muscle. If he teared it, he's out for the season. If he didn't tear it, he'll be back in a few weeks. But Mitchell Trubisky didn't look horrible in his first start for the Steelers. We'll see when Kenny Pickett's season happens, but the Steelers got the win. Next up, we have an AFC East matchup between the Dolphins and the Patriots, and the Patriots are struggling on offense. It's going to be a tough year for Mac Jones and the offense of the New England Patriots this year. Without a true offensive coordinator, no more Josh McDaniels. He's going to be in Las Vegas, who had a pretty solid game against the Chargers as well. But without an offensive coordinator, it's going to be tough for these New England Patriots to get something going on offense. And the Dolphins did what they needed to do. They played really good defense. They forced turnovers. They made it a struggle for Mac Jones, and they did what they had to do on offense. Tua looked good. We had Jalen Waddle, who looked pretty solid. We had Tyreek Hill in his Dolphins debut. He looked really good as well. I'm sure there's better games ahead for this Dolphins offense, but look at that dot right there from Tua. We're going to see a more explosive Miami Dolphins offense in time. For the Cleveland Browns and the Panthers, it was a revenge game both ways. The defensive line of the Browns wanted to get to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield definitely wanted to get this win over the Cleveland Browns, who got rid of him for Deshaun Watson, who won't be playing for the first 11 weeks of the season, I believe. It was going back and forth, end of the game. I thought the Panthers might take it, but Jacoby Brissett leads the Browns to a game-winning field goal. And I forget the kicker's name, but I know he was a rookie that knocked it through to give the win to the Cleveland Browns. But a better game of week 1. This is one of the better games for sure. Baker led a pretty nice comeback. I thought he might have it, but at the end right there, the Browns are able to get the win. But I think the Panthers have a very solid roster. They got a pretty weird roughing the passer call, I believe, on Jacoby Brissett there at the end to help set up that game-winning field goal. So I think in the NFC South, the Panthers could make a little bit of noise. I like their roster. It looks like Baker's going to be decent for them. He's not going to be amazing, but Robbie Anderson looked good. McCaffrey looked healthy, which was nice. They'll get going, and DJ Moore is very good as well. But we'll see what happens with the Browns. touchdowns. Looks like the AFC North could be open. The Ravens probably looked like the best team against those New York Jets, who we'll get to. Real quick, everyone, before we get back into the video, only about 6% of the people watching right now are actually subscribed to the channel. So if you're enjoying the content you are seeing, make sure to subscribe. But let's get back into the video. Before we talk about the winner of this game, the Saints, I feel bad for Falcons fans. How did they not come away with an opening day win here against the New Orleans Saints? They had a great lead. Why do the Falcons always choke leads? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback, who the coach is. I just don't understand. The Falcons had this game in the bag. They had it won. They let them come all the way back. The Saints, Michael Thomas had a terrible start to the game. Kamara wasn't amazing, but then Michael Thomas turned it on. Jarvis Landry had a really good game. Olave looked decent. Jameis Winston was turning it on at the end. Everybody but Kamara, for the most part, for Kamara fantasy owners, I'm sure will tell you, had a really good game. But it was at the end of the game when the Falcons probably should have won. I truthfully don't know how they didn't win. It really is just a Falcons thing. I feel bad for Falcons fans. You guys thought you might get a good start to the season, end up in this video on the winning side of it, but unfortunately you guys did take the loss. But we'll see. I liked Mariota. He looked pretty decent for the Falcons. Kyle Pitts needs to get some work as well. There's MT though. Michael Thomas welcome back with a 2-touchdown game. Now this game right here, Ravens-Jets, I mean, I think everybody saw the outcome of this game coming. You saw the Ravens just dominating this New York Jets team. Maybe if Zach Wilson was playing, they'd get some more offense, but they just looked bad on offense, this New York Jets team. The Ravens handled business. Lamar Jackson's playing for that contract. He's telling everybody to pay him. He is telling the Ravens, I want my money, and he showed up yesterday against this team. They took care of business. You can't control who you play on the schedule, but you can control how you play, and they played really good. So let me know in the comments down below. Comment question of the day. What do you think was the most surprising win of week one? Who was the most dominant win of week one? What team do you think is the favorite going into week two? Can we run this ball? I want a touchdown. I want a touchdown with Lamar. There's Lamar Jackson, puts it in. I don't know how many of you watched this Commanders-Jaguars game, but I found it to be one of the more interesting low-key games of week one. Carson Wentz's first start as a Commander. You had Antonio Gibson looking good for the Commanders. You had Terry McLaurin looking all right, but Dotson looked great for the Commanders. You had Curtis Samuel, looked really good for the Commanders as well. Besides the ugly pick from Carson Wentz that gave the Jaguars the lead late into the fourth quarter, I think he had a pretty solid game. The Commanders, I mean, the NFC East, we talked about it with the Eagles. It's wide open right now. There's no more Dallas Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will probably finish in third or fourth place, depending on how my Giants do. I'm not too crazy about my Giants, but we did pick up a win. So the Commanders could make a run at this division if Carson Wentz is going to play solid like he did yesterday. Maybe take away those ugly interceptions that he had. As for the Jaguars, I actually really like how the Jaguars played. Christian Kirk, everybody thought that was a crazy signing, but he honestly played pretty good. James Robinson looked really good off that torn Achilles, and it looks like Trevor Lawrence is going to have a better sophomore season than he had a rookie season with Doug Peterson coaching. So I think the Jaguars can definitely win some games. We'll see what happens with them. I think they can finish about third place in their division, and there's Terry McLaurin for the Commanders. We moved to the late window of games, and we had an NFC North matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers, and I told everybody, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel, I like the Vikings to win the NFC North this year. I think they have a way better roster, especially offensively, than the Green Bay Packers. Justin Jefferson was absolutely unguardable. Nobody on the team could guard Justin Jefferson. The man is the best receiver in the league. It's looking like I made the right decision with my third overall pick in fantasy football. I could have went with Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, but I went with Justin Jefferson. It is awesome to have a guy like Justin Jefferson on your fantasy team. You get to watch him gritty after scoring 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's amazing. You had Aaron Rodgers not having a great game for the Green Bay Packers. What was that? What is going on? Kirk, what? I have no idea what just happened. What I was saying, though, is that you had Aaron Rodgers, didn't have a great game. He definitely looked like he was missing Davante Adams in this game. I think the Vikings are going to wind up winning this division. Zadarius Smith played amazing. Danielle Hunter got to Aaron Rodgers. A lot of pressure on Rodgers. I like the Vikings. As a New York Giants fan, the last 6 years, whatever it's been, we have not won Game 1 of the NFL season, and we finally won Game 1. I cannot believe we won this after being down pretty much the entire game, but we beat the Tennessee Titans with a clutch 2-point conversion, all thanks to Saquon Barkley. Brian Daboll, new head coach for this Giants team, actually gave us some heart. I guess made our team a little bit more determined to win these games because we had heart the entire game. The offense looked terrible in the first half. Then Barkley showed up. The defense was absolutely holding it down. Held Derrick Henry to a terrible game by Derrick Henry standards. I think he rushed for about 80 yards, which isn't bad, but for Derrick Henry in a game where they have a positive game script and they're up a ton of points, he should have way more rushing yards. The defense held it down. Barkley had 200 yards from scrimmage. Daniel Jones didn't look absolutely horrible. He didn't look great, but he didn't look absolutely horrible. And we wind up coming away with the win. And we always lose on those game-winning field goals too. So for the Titans to miss that field goal, I'm sorry for you Titans fans, but it's about time we actually got a little lucky on a game-winning field goal. Every single time, we always lose on that last-second field goal, and it feels good to actually come away with the win in week 1. Let's see if we can get Barkley this touchdown right now. He absolutely deserves it. Right over the middle, Danny dimes to Barkley. If Barkley is back in his true great form, we could be in for a decent season. I have also been high on the Chargers the entire offseason. I see them, the Chiefs, and the Bills as the top 3 teams in the AFC, and I think they are the better Los Angeles football team. And I almost threw a pick with Justin Herbert. Probably should have been a pick with Justin Herbert, but Justin Herbert and the Chargers in real life, not in this game right now, looked great. Justin Herbert losing Keenan Allen in that game as well with a hamstring injury. Hopefully he's not going to be out for too long because he is a key piece of this team, but they looked absolutely great on offense. But as for the Raiders, Davante Adams made his presence known, and you just see why Aaron Rodgers, playing at the same exact time as this Raiders game was going on, misses him so much, because I believe he had 40-something% of the team's target share for the Las Vegas Raiders, which is just ridiculous. When you also have guys like Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow on this team, for Davante Adams to get 40+% of the target share, he is a fantasy stud. He is definitely still a top 5 receiver in this league. Davante is going to be sick for this team, but we have to talk about the Chargers once again that did wind up winning this game. The AFC West is by far going to be the hardest division in football this year, so every win is going to matter, especially a division game against the Raiders. To finish the late window of games before we move on to Sunday Night Football, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we thought without Tyreek Hill, this team was still going to be good. You still had Kelsey, Mahomes, a top 3, top 5 quarterback in the league. I would say top 3 for sure, but some people for some reason slander Patrick Mahomes. I don't know why. I knew this team was still going to be very good on offense, but they absolutely decimated this Cardinals team. They had no chance on defense. Patrick Mahomes, one of the best games he's played his entire career. Always plays good on opening day, on week 1. Kelsey looked great. He had 9 different receivers. You had Juju, Valdez-Scantling, Kelsey, Mecole Hardman. You had Juju, I said already. Sky Moore, the rookie. You had a ton of guys for this Chiefs team catching touchdowns, catching passes. They are not going to miss a beat, I don't think, without Tyreek. It's crazy to say, but they looked amazing. Sunday Night Football was good for just one team, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I wouldn't say they had a great game, Tampa Bay, but they got Julio Jones involved, Russell Gage involved. Fournette looked really good on the ground. The red zone offense for Tampa Bay didn't look amazing. The Dallas defense, especially Micah Parsons, was making a difference to try to keep this game competitive for the Dallas Cowboys to possibly come back in this game. But Dak Prescott didn't look good. CeeDee Lamb didn't look good. Now Dak's injured. They have nobody else to catch the ball on this team pretty much besides CeeDee Lamb. Dalton Schultz, a decent number 2 option, but they are missing Amari Cooper. They're missing Michael Gallup, James Washington, who's injured as well. And without their starting quarterback, Cooper Rush is going to be starting for this team. I don't know what the Cowboys are going to be, but Tampa Bay, I'm sure, will clean up that red zone offense. They're always really good in the red zone, so I'm sure they'll be able to clean it up. There's no Gronk this year. We still have Mike Evans, who caught his signature fade for the touchdown inside the goal line right there. You have Leonard Fournette. Again, this is Gio Bernard running it in, but Leonard Fournette looked great on the ground. They had the run game going. The defense was playing good. Tampa Bay should be an NFC favorite. Lastly, we have the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football, and I'm not going to lie to you all. I'm recording this video on Monday afternoon. That way I can get it out on Tuesday afternoon for you guys. So I'm recording this before Monday Night Football has actually happened. So I'm recording both sides. So if you're seeing the Seattle Seahawks side, that means they actually won and had a huge upset against Russell Wilson in his return to Seattle with the Denver Broncos. I can't see that happening, but if you're seeing this right now, that means that something drastically went wrong for the Denver Broncos, and Geno Smith probably played the game of his career. Maybe DK Metcalf had a run like that after the catch. Maybe he went for a 75-yard touchdown. Tyler Lockett got loose. I can't really see Seattle winning this game, but you never know. That's gonna do it for the video, everyone. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. In the comments down below, let me know what challenge, what video do you want to see next. Peace.